Mr. Speaker, my response will address the questions raised by members to understand the Talis, or Teaching and Learning International Survey 2024 findings, and the current support systems and measures in place to manage teacher workload and well-being. May I have Mr. Speaker's permission to answer oral questions number 2 to 5 and written questions numbers 45 to 47 on today's order paper.
Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. My response will also cover related oral and written PQs set down for today and subsequent sittings. Sir, let me begin by affirming what our teachers believe in, that teaching is, at its heart, a profoundly human endeavor. A teacher's responsibility is significant as it involves nurturing students and shaping their future. Our teachers take great pride in their work and demonstrate a strong sense of professionalism and dedication. Our educators often go far beyond their formal duties because they see their students' growth and well-being as their responsibility. While we appreciate and applaud their passion, we also want to ensure that such commitment does not result in unsustainable workload for our teachers. Members asked about the teacher's role and how the ministry intends to support teachers with their non-teaching workload. Members also asked about the use of independent or externally verified studies to validate reported teacher workload hours, and if the ministry conducts regular checks of teacher workload. We recognize that teaching, like many professions, comes with its own set of challenges and stressors. The 2024 Talis survey, which is a study run independently by the OECD, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, found that Singapore teachers reported longer working hours per week compared to the OECD average. These longer hours are reported because Singapore teachers spend their time differently from many of their OECD peers. While classroom teaching hours are shorter, our teachers spend time on other important activities such as lesson preparation, co-curricular activities, and professional development. These activities are critical to their effectiveness in providing holistic education for our students. Talis, being the largest international teacher survey, is a useful benchmarking tool, but it has its limitations. It is conducted once every 6 years and surveys a representative sample of only our lower secondary teachers. In contrast, MOE internally monitors the workload of our teachers more regularly across all grade levels, so primary, secondary, JC, CI, through surveys, polls, and various forms of staff engagement. This allows us to track closely and develop a more holistic understanding of teacher workload trends and issues so that we can adjust our policies and programs as necessary. As we had said in a written PQ reply to this House on the 14th of October this year, our data shows that over the years, teacher workload has remained stable in terms of total hours at an average of 53 hours. However, we recognize that the complexity of a teacher's work has increased over the years. Members asked how MOE aims to address the longer working hours and stresses faced by our teachers. MOE adopts a range of measures to manage teachers' workload and to support their well-being, which we review regularly. First, MOE's Teacher Work Management Framework, or TWMF, provides our school leaders with a common set of principles and measures to guide equitable workload allocation, considering teachers' competencies and preferences. It emphasizes transparency, trust, and open communication in workload deployment. This is reviewed regularly in response to new developments. Second, technology and AI innovation. MOE is tapping on AI to help teachers work more efficiently and effectively. New AI and other tech tools in the Singapore student learning space, or SLS, for example, support teachers to plan lessons as well as to mark, provide customized feedback, and analyze students' responses. Digital platforms like Parents Gateway have reduced time spent on administrative tasks such as collecting consent forms and medical certificates. And while Singapore is one of the highest adoption rates amongst OECD education systems for using AI, we recognize that it does not immediately translate to reduced working hours. Teachers need time to be trained to use these tools, be comfortable using them, and to fully integrate these tools into their work practices. Third, Enhanced staffing support. On average, each school has about 85 teachers. In addition, each school is resourced with a team of allied educators performing functions such as counseling and working with students with special education needs. All schools have a dedicated administrative team overseeing general administrative matters, procurement, financial operations, and logistics support. We have been increasing such support. Over the last 10 years, we've doubled the number of allied educators across all schools from about 800 to 1,600, and also increased the number of administrative staff in each school from 6 then to around 9 today. Furthermore, schools have the flexibility to procure manpower services such as coaches, CCA administrators, and allied support for student well-being, as well as vendors to assist with administrative work, event management, and student programs. We will continue to review the number of non-teaching staff needed in schools to effectively support our teachers and our students. Fourth, system-level adjustments. When we introduce new policies and initiatives or make policy changes, it increases workload for a season, as schools and teachers need to be briefed, trained, and need time to adjust. Good change management is therefore key. MOE has given schools greater flexibility to pace the implementation of new systems-wide initiatives, including deferring them if necessary in order to manage staff workload. Hence, schools could decide when they would implement major changes such as FSBB or full subject-based banding, as well as the EdTech Master Plan 2030, for instance. Fifth, protected time policies. All schools provide protected vacation time during school holidays to ensure that our teachers can rest and recharge. Across the 4 blocks of school holidays, teachers can get around 6 to 7 weeks of protected time and can take their vacation leave beyond the protected time if they do not have any work in school. MOE also refreshed the school-home partnership guidelines at the end of 2024 to avoid parent-staff communication after school hours, except for critical emergencies. It also states clearly that teachers do not need to give their personal mobile phone numbers to parents and students. This is to minimize the blurring of lines between work and personal time. 6. Flexible work arrangements, or FWA. Since 2022, MOE has also provided guidelines on flexible work arrangements for school-based officers while maintaining the duty of care towards our students. These include allowing students to this includes allowing teachers to report later at the start of school day or leaving earlier before the end of the school day if they have no lessons or duties. Teachers are also allowed to work from home on a day where they have no classes or duties requiring their presence in school. Teachers who are unable to take on the full workload can apply for part-time working arrangements. 7th, well-being support. All schools have staff well-being committees that are resourced with staff welfare funds. Teachers have access to a range of resources such as well-being workshops, talks, webinars, and online self-care material. If they have well-being concerns, they are encouraged to raise them with their supervisors, school leaders, or superintendents. They also have access to peer support, such as their school's wellness ambassadors, and to free professional counseling through MOE's in-house counselors or the whole-of-government employee wellness program. Members asked if the reduction of workload will be a key priority with KPIs set and how well-being data informs staffing, performance evaluation, and retention policies. MOE takes a holistic approach to monitoring teacher well-being rather than using singular metrics like work hours. We regularly track a range of indicators, including job satisfaction, retention rates, and stress levels, and also engage with MOE teachers' unions to get feedback and suggestions. This approach allows us to ensure timely interventions to support teacher well-being. Apart from broad-based measures to support the profession, when we receive school-specific feedback, we will also implement targeted measures to address these issues in those schools. We are encouraged by the commitment shown by our teachers over the years, in spite of the growing complexity of the role. the mean annual resignation rates of teachers have remained stable at around 2 to 3% over the past few decades. Talis 2024 also found that many of our teachers felt valued by society and see teaching as an attractive career choice. Based on the results from MOE's staff engagement survey last year, teachers' perception of work-life balance support were comparable to those across the wider public service. I thank members of this House, as well as members of the public, for their concern for our educators. Indeed, our individual and collective attitude towards educators will determine whether we can continue to attract and retain good educators. Beyond MOE in our schools, parents and other stakeholders also play an important role in supporting our teachers' well-being. By working collaboratively with schools, respecting educators, and maintaining realistic expectation about the responsibilities of teachers, parents can also help create an environment where our teachers can focus on what they do best, educating and nurturing our children. I would like to encourage parents, and in fact all of us, to recognize and appreciate our educators who dedicate themselves daily to nurturing young minds. As a society, let's cherish our educators' contributions each and every day. For when we honor those who teach our children, we strengthen the foundation upon which our nation's progress rests. Let me close by saying this. Having highly professional and caring educators who are deeply committed to shaping the lives of our children and youth is one of Singapore's reservoirs of strength. I thank all our teachers and allied educators for the good work you've done, seen and unseen, and I thank all parents and members of the public for your support for our schools and our teachers. We appreciate our teachers, and we are committed to working with you to nurture and guide our next generation.